The climate crisis is here. In our region, 50% of the Caribbean's fish catch, 70% of Brazil's soybean, and 45% of Mexico's corn could be jeopardized. Severe hurricanes are expected to increase by 40%. Coastal cities risk becoming underwater, with billions of dollars in infrastructure damage and supply chain disruptions. The region has aligned around the need for urgent action. IDB Invest is becoming a climate-smart institution. We have become a supporter of the TCFD, a global task force providing the financial sector with guidance on climate risks and opportunities. Together with other development banks, we are aligning our financial flows with the pledges of the Paris Agreement. We help our clients reap the trillion-dollar opportunity, which is the low-carbon economy, what we call investing in reversing. What's more, IDB Invest's new sustainability policy requires us to look at climate risks in every new operation. In practice, this means that each new direct investment needs to be assessed for climate risks before entering our books. Before we delve into how we will do this, let's explore what we mean when we say climate risks.
Our portfolio is impacted by climate change in two distinct ways: physical risks and transition risks. Physical risks can be acute, like hurricanes that devastated whole islands and pose a risk to our clients in the Caribbean, or like the wildfires that have devastated many parts of the world. They can also be chronic shifts. In Panama, the effects of the El Niño weather pattern have led to droughts, resulting losses and increased costs for the Panama Canal. In Peru, the effects are at both extremes. Some regions face water scarcity, sparking social conflict and jeopardizing the viability of local business. Others suffer from flooding, which has forced our clients to incur costs to reconstruct damaged infrastructure. These are just some examples of material physical risks that are caused or exacerbated by climate change. Then, there are transition risks for the private sector, related to society shifting to a low-carbon economy. Consider our investments in gas-fired power plants. Despite burning cleaner than other fossil fuels, many gas plants emit more than 1 million tons of CO2 every year. Policies like a carbon tax levied on each one of those tons of CO2 could present a challenge for the bottom line of the business and hurt their creditworthiness. Or think about our investments in agribusiness. Clients will need to adopt biological approaches to integrated pest management as they face mounting pressure from their markets due to concern around biodiversity and safety. Likewise, changing consumer preferences could make carbon-intensive products less desirable, requiring producers and intermediaries to adjust their business models. All this implies one clear conclusion: climate risks translate into financial risks for our clients and for our portfolio.
To protect our portfolio from the dire impacts of climate change and to comply with our new sustainability policy, IDB Invest has developed a climate risk assessment methodology. It forms part of the Environmental Social Due Diligence conducted by the Environmental, Social and Governance Division, or SEG, for direct investments. The SEG division has a climate risk team that will carry out these climate risk assessments. The methodology has 3 levels and considers physical and transition risks separately. The first level is screening. SEG screens a project for physical exposure based on its location. For transition risks, industry sector and the company's commitment on decarbonization are key. In both areas, medium or high exposure require further action. The second level is analyzing. For exposed projects, SEC analyzes vulnerability with the information from the client. For physical risks, this works via sector-specific lens and by looking at independent engineer studies. To gauge transition vulnerability, SEC may benchmark projects based on whether they apply the best available technology and have a decarbonization plan. And the third level is managing. Based on our sustainability policy requirements, SEC determines the appropriate measures that the client should implement, if any, which will become part of the project's Environmental and Social Action Plan, or the ESAP. Beyond risk management, the advisory services team can assist our clients to maximize opportunities with tailored technical assistance, such as feasibility studies or reviews of regulatory frameworks. Finally, SEC follows up on the client's progress during supervision to verify proper implementation of actions and continuous improvement.
Managing and assessing climate risks is sound business practice for IDB Invest and for our clients. Our investments can help turn the climate crisis around. And for our clients, mitigation and adaptation are bankable endeavors. Risks can turn into opportunities through sustainable, resilient, low-carbon business models. Managing risks properly is an essential part. Let SEC know early if you see potential climate change risks in a proposed transaction. Share our climate risk assessment brochure with your clients so they know what to expect, and engage them to gather more information. And reach out to a SEC officer for support. Together, let's take some of the heat off of our portfolio.